Tell me again why they picked him. By the way, I was waiting. When I tell you, I was waiting for some type of announcement like this for this game. You know, I was talking to a buddy last night, and he sees everything going on, and he's a huge X-Men and Wolverine fan. So he's talking to me about what's going on and everything, and he's like, but you know what? Not everything is woke. And I said, oh, I know that. But if you look at where these companies are going, the majority of them, the majority of them are. And when you could have chosen a Japanese man to be portrayed here, it shows that they are checking boxes. We already talked about this. If they went to Africa and say maybe they were doing the Zulu tribe or something like that. However, there happened to be a Japanese man visiting at the time, and they used him instead of the African warrior. You all know everyone would lose their ish, and they'd be like, what's going on? So the same thing is going on over in Japan with a lot of people. They're like, why? It's your first time over here in Japan. Choose a male and female Japanese warrior. That's it. That's all they want. It's not about racism. They just want that authenticity. That's it. Yes, there's a small amount of racists out there saying stuff, but the majority of the fans that are talking about this is the issue. Now, one thing that we've noticed is that when they are checking DEI and ESG boxes, they will double down. And they've done it mainly with our women, I've noticed that. Is that they will bring a black woman in, make her strong and all boss, all this other stuff, and they will make her LGBTQ every time. Every time. And if she's not, they'll make them ambiguous. They give her some type of tough man haircut, crew cut. It's happening all the time. Like I said, listen, my LGBTQ fans write me and tell me about this stuff. They cannot stand it, especially the black ones, because of them always doubling down with us. They have to be a person of color and they have to be LGBTQ. All of a sudden, that's going to make us want to buy it. That's going to make us want to do it because we have to support every single thing, no matter what it is, that a person that is the same color as us does. Okay? That's not true. Every other race on this planet has a way of handling people of their own color that do good things and do bad things. You can't support every single thing that a person your color does. But if you don't on social media, they make it look like you're some type of race traitor when you're just telling the truth. So, I have not read this yet, but I am so interested in seeing, because it says, appears to confirm. If this is ambiguous, and the game comes out, and it's confirmed, man, tell me again why they chose him? They weren't checking boxes, right? For ESG or DEI. They weren't fulfilling the parameters of their DEI or ESG loans. You're sure about that? You're 100% sure. Okay. So Ubisoft appears to confirm Assassin's Creed Shadows protagonist UK and Yasuke, which is, this is the thing too. That looks like that says Yasuke. I saw people online trying to discredit people if they said the name wrong. When we're reading Japanese names over here, that literally looks like Yasuke. For years, I could have swore it was Ryu. Apparently, it's supposed to be Ryu. I didn't find out that his name was Ryu until I was like in my mid to late 20s or in my 30s. to where I was online and I was seeing that so many people were saying that it was the correct pronunciation is Ryu. Does that discredit me from being a great Street Fighter player or fan? No, it doesn't. Just because you mispronounce, people try to cope with so many things in certain ways. Oh, you're not even pronouncing it right. How could you? Just because someone pronounces something wrong does not mean that they are not right about a particular concept, idea, situation that's going on. Don't try that. I saw people talking about people online. And you're not even pronouncing it right. Yasuke. There's no way it looks like it's Yasuke. And I don't even know how to pronounce hers. Are LGBTQ+. All right. In a blog post on the company's website, published on May 15th, the company declared that these characters' personalities are also lead them to have different relationships and rapports with other characters. And they don't always feel the same way about people, nor do people always feel the same way about them. The wording. That's the way to dip your toe in it if you're going that way. I see what they mean by appears to confirm that. Next, they discussed romance options. Romantically, they will also attract and be attracted to different types of people. Oh, what do you mean? Yasuke will be attracted to a feminine woman, maybe? If he meets her, depending on the questions that you answer and how you reply. Do you mean he might be attracted to maybe a BBW woman? Or a more aggressive woman? Maybe she's just a tomboy. What do you mean? Next, discuss romance options. Romantically, they will be attracted. Will attract and be attracted to different types of people. Through the pair, players will get to experience a multitude of relationships. It means he's going to make a bunch of buddies and guy friends. They're going to go out and drink sake and hang out and practice their swordsmanship. And then he'll have relationships with different women throughout, you know what I mean? He might be a player. That's all that's going to happen, right? This revelation comes amid Ubisoft contracting the Dartmouth associate professor Sachi Schmidt-Hori. Sachi Schmidt-Hori is a LGBTQ activist with her biography on Dartmouth's website, reading, I am interested in investing how gender, sexuality, corporeality, and are represented and negotiated in the pre-17th century Japanese narratives and illustrations. My first book, Tales of Idolized Boys, Male Love in Medieval Japanese Narratives, is on medieval Chigo Monogatari, which often depict romantic relationships between Buddhist priests and adolescent boys. These tales challenge a host of normative and moral standards we internalize, including such ideas as sexual orientation, transgenerational sex, and sexual agency. You know what's funny? I remember a while ago, just dawned on me. I was watching a news program or something about, priests getting in trouble. And I then one day I was watching something on Buddhist monk, and I saw them training young boys in martial arts, and I was like, wait a minute, they're priests, and they're priests too. Do they have the same problem? I don't know. It continues my current project in the literary representation of milk kinships. What the hell is that? In pre-17th Japanese tales, including the tale of Ochikubo, the tale of Genji, and the tales of Heike. The website also reveals the classes she teaches, introductions to Japanese culture, languages. Okay. Of note, the official description from the publisher of the Tales of Idolized Boys, Male Love in Medieval Japan Narratives, University of Hawaii Press, reveals Schmidt-Hori calls for a shift in the hermeneutic strategies. I sounded it out, as they tell you. Applied in Chigo. Oh my God, I'm getting tired of running into all these word sounds. Put forth both a nuanced historicization of social constructs such as genders and okay. All right, this is all about all these writings on this stuff. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna wait till the game comes out to find out exactly what is in here, and then you tell me again why they picked him. When the game comes out, you tell me again why they picked him, and let's see if they sandwich all this stuff together. And you tell me if the game ain't WOKE. See it coming a mile away. And you know what? If, first of all, I was going to say, listen, if they don't put it in there, I'll be like, they didn't put it in there, guys. However, the fact that they still chose him shows where they're going with it. Because they could have went with any other badass native Japanese man. But you know, if you've been paying attention to media these days, from comic books to television shows to video games to movies and everything in between, you know, go check the list for what they have to have in these shows, in these movies, in these video games to get nominated for awards and all this stuff. You see it. Once you read the literature, when you're watching stuff, you see it unfold. You just see it happening. You just like, yep, okay. Now I need a strong, like you'll just see it. I need this in this position. And you just wait in the movie or the show. And there you'll see it. I'm telling you, go with the list to the movies or watch a series. Like, okay, they got to have this, or this. Okay, let's see if it shows up. And you're going to see it. This is so funny to me. I'm not buying the game. I'm not buying the game. However, I do support all the other characters of color that they are putting in the right place, and they're not using to pander. If a character is not being used to pander, I support that. I don't support pandering and checking boxes. I do not at all. But I do support all people of all colors getting their shine without pandering or preaching. Just entertain us. Just do it right so everybody's happy again.